Afrimat Limited is considered to be one of the leading black-empowered open-pit mining companies in Africa. Now listed in the mining sector of the main board of the JSE, Afrimat continues to expand its footprint. Joining me in the studio to give an overview of the organization's journey is CEO Andries van Heerden. Andries, thanks very much for joining us this morning.
Good morning, Gary. Thank you very much.
Well, can you walk us through Afrimat's origin story, some of the key issues being that over the significant growth over the past few decades, what are some of the key milestones in this path?
Gary, it really started in the early 2000s when I started in what was then the quarrying industry, and then in 2005, together with some partners, we bought a company called Lancaster Quarries. And a year later, we merged that with a company that I used to work for previously, Prima Quarries, and we formed a company called Afrimat, and Afrimat really stands for African Materials. So that was in 2006. We listed at the peak of the listing boom at the time. It was a fantastic time to do that. And we had a very good run in the beginning with a whole boom in construction at the time, running up to the 2010 soccer. And then after that, after 2010, we saw that the construction industry was, pretty much on a road to nowhere. And then we started diversifying the business, initially just into industrial minerals. We bought a few limestone mines around the country. And then in 2015, we took a further step into proper mining, and we bought our first iron ore mine. Since then, we've grown to become one of the 4 exporters of iron ore out of the Northern Cape, and we also supply to the domestic market. We operate 3 iron ore mines in the Northern Cape. And then in around about 2019, we acquired an anthracite mine in Mpumalanga called Nkomati Anthracite. And in 2021, we acquired a phosphate mine in Limpopo. So at the moment, Afrimat is a multi-commodity mining company. We are still considered a junior mining company, and we play in what we call the mid-tier mining space. So we don't want to compete with the majors like Anglo American and those guys. They play in a different league. But we're also not a small-scale miner, and we have we play in that mid-tier space that really created a niche for us.
Can you elaborate perhaps on the company's core business activities? You've outlined some of the operations in your group, but what are the main core business activities?
So it's really mining. So quarrying, construction materials is a major part of our business, and that really is open pit mining. And then we also do iron ore, we do anthracite, and we do phosphate. But all of that is a basic mining operation where we mine for some mineral and then supply it into a specific market.
Andries, are you then primarily a construction material supplier, a mining company, or perhaps something more nuanced?
Yeah, I think in essence it's mine. A quarry is a mine. It's an open pit mine, and iron ore, anthracite. Our anthracite mine is our first underground mine that we have as well. So in essence, we're a mining company, and we supply into different markets. Construction materials being an important market. We recently moved the JSE moved our listing from construction and materials to general mining. And we now, we supply a broad base of products from our mining origins.
It's a very competitive environment or industry, the mining industry or sector. What sets Afrimat apart?
Yeah, I think 2 things. Firstly, anybody can dig a hole in the ground. It's really about your people. So the culture that we try to create in the business is a culture where, we sum it up with excellence with integrity. So we create a culture where we have very, very good people that are really good at what they are doing, but they work in an environment where there's a lot of integrity, very strongly based on our value system, and we we try to work in an environment where what we call an atmosphere of joy and positivity. So that's the one leg. And the other leg is that diversification strategy that positions the business in such a way that we can weather the storms. The South African market is not an easy market to operate in, and our compound average growth rate in after-tax profits for the last 15 years is very close to 20% per annum over that period. And the strategy to actually diversify the business and position it in those niches that we found, that is the other leg. So culture and strategy is really what we use to set the business apart.
As you've mentioned them now, what strategies or practices do the company employ to ensure its continued success and growth?
So we identify opportunities in the market. For instance, when we went from construction materials into industrial minerals, two things that we identified. The one is we saw the environment, so we measure and we make sure we understand our environment on the one hand, and on the other hand, we make sure that we enter into spaces where there's a strong demand, but also it fits our skills base very well. So that's pretty much what we do to position the business.
So, and then as we look ahead, what are Afrimat's aspirations for the future? Are there any specific areas of growth or expansion the company is focusing on?
Yeah, we want to bolster our position a little bit in the Southern African market. The two legs is our construction materials business. We have recently announced the Lafarge acquisition. We are still waiting for the final approval from the competition tribunal. So growing into the construction materials business and becoming an even stronger player in that is a very strong drive for the future. Our mining business, to make sure that our existing assets that we've acquired specifically in Komati and Glenhover, our phosphate mine, that they really start delivering to their full potential. And then probably a little bit further out is a further diversification with the addition of one or two additional minerals that we are looking at, and we haven't decided exactly what that will be, but we can see that in future our mineral diversification will be driven a little bit further so that we can continue on this growth curve that I spoke about, that the business has been growing on over the last more than 1.5 decades.
Andries, thank you very much. We're going to have to leave it there. We look forward to chatting again about Afrimat in the near future.
Thank you.
That was Afrimat's Chief Executive Officer, Andries van Heerden. That's it from me. Until next time, goodbye.